Is Horizon Forbidden West one of the greatest sequels of all time in gaming? Any review of PlayStation's exclusive Horizon Forbidden West could make a case for the game's greatness simply by listing how much stuff there is to see and do. More unique biomes, more intense monsters, more modes of traversal, more weapons, more traps, more abilities, not to mention a greater plot at stake that builds on the fantastic foundation of the 2017 original Horizon Zero Dawn.
Am I the one to hold this crown of ash and soul? Their kindness calls to me. I have to block it out. My voice has grown so somber. These words don't seem like mine, but the iron won't subside. No matter what I try. Am I raindrops in the flood? In this emptiness, in the storm. If I falter, if I fall, the wave inside my soul carries all I know. Who can take my hand in the flood? Her voice calls me forth through darkness unknown. My heart with silence burns through solemnness and bone. The edge beyond the shore, this weight of root and rock. I long to reach the other, to find the path we lost. Am I raindrops in the flood? In this emptiness, in the storm. If I'm broken, if I'm torn, the wave inside my soul carries all I know. Who can take my hand in the flood?
For me, the sequel is memorable less as a bullet point list and more as a synthesis of the efforts of so many brilliant designers, engineers, writers, artists, and animators. Horizon Forbidden West is perhaps the greatest AAA gaming adventure I've ever seen visually because of how all of its parts fit together in ways that are both obvious and subtle. I warmly recall the first time I saw the game's Forbidden West region open up, full of visuals and gameplay possibilities. The region's fields, mountains, and enigmatic wreckage of a bygone era stretched out as far as my PlayStation 5 could render. Every pixel looked precisely painted. The scene combined the deep blues of a river landscape and the rich orange glow of a sunset. The game repeatedly leads players into brilliantly staged moments of discovery. Sometimes these moments are cheekily hidden in a corner of the map that features a surprising cavern filled with puzzles and plot reveals, or sometimes the discoveries take place on Horizon Forbidden West's wide open plains, where memorable sneak and trap monster encounters play out next to the stunning, sky-filling relics of past civilization. However, as much fun as I had playing Horizon Forbidden West, I say this as someone who played Horizon Zero Dawn as well. Both playthroughs which you can find on my channel, somewhere if you dig around on the playlists. Forbidden West we did play at launch, Zero Dawn we played it slightly after launch. And I think I had to redo a playthrough of that, in one of my long playthroughs. But this goes to say I do love Horizon Forbidden West. But again, like I was saying, I say this as someone who's played Zero Dawn. And so I would suggest that anyone interested in playing the sequel should play the 2017 original, either on PlayStation or on PC if you game on PC. Because Forbidden West feels like a breakout second season of a TV series that was already good. And neither, Forbidden West's summaries on the actual Zero Dawn necessarily feel sufficient, to bring players up to speed without having experienced it yourself. And this is something I also said of other great franchises like The Last of Us. I think to thoroughly enjoy The Last of Us Part 2, you have to somewhat have played, The Last of Us Part 1 to get the context of some of the callbacks, some of the plot lines. Same goes for God of War. I know a lot of people picked up God of War on the 2018 reboot, hadn't originally played the Greek mythology games, and although, the connection there is slightly not as attached as I would say for the case of like The Last of Us and Horizon, you still needed to know, Kratos' story going into God of War 2018 to fully appreciate, the whole transformation and the reboot and everything, that went into that game that then led into Ragnarok as well. So I would highly recommend for anyone who wants to play Forbidden West, they should play Zero Dawn first. This is also partly because Forbidden West expects you to know its characters. It expects you to know its open world pacing and its battle rhythms. Of particular note is that Zero Dawn already delivered some of the most fascinating simultaneous timeline science fiction we've probably seen in a video game in recent years. The original game's conceit and its primary characters all get significant payoffs in the second go around, and I can't imagine seeing the sequel's twists without having already invested in both worlds of the first Horizon game. And I'm someone who was super critical of the first game because I thought the storytelling was a little, in and around, and I didn't like the big data dumps. But I think they did a lot better in Forbidden West. There's still a lot they could work on in terms of, getting us invested in the side characters without turning it into, data dumps of side missions. But I would say the only reason you shouldn't play Horizon Forbidden West is if you hadn't played Zero Dawn yet. Otherwise, it's a no-brainer. Now, for the good and the bad, just to quickly summarize my little discussion here, I would say the pros: absolutely massive campaign, will take no less than 25 hours to complete. Guerrilla gave us a lot of optional missions with character development. They kind of remixed the battle requirements, remixed the spatial puzzles, and other, ambitious ideas, making every mission feel slightly more important. As a result, the average playtime is probably going to be 35 to 40 hours here. And then the original game's knack for, landscapes and otherworldly caverns has only gotten better. A lot of people always laugh about how this is a photo mode game because there's so many wow moments that just make you capture hundreds of incredible gameplay moments. You would have noticed in my playthrough as well, there were a lot of moments where I was, interrupting stream to take screenshots or to record clips. Another positive, the voice acting, the motion capture, the heartfelt script, the next gen facial animations, and the world changing plot combines to make, you know, the skip dialogue button is a little tougher to tap this time round, you know, than in Zero Dawn, I mean. And Aloy's arsenal has grown organically to give players more strategic options and diverse combat opportunities. I really liked the amount of different variety of weapons we had in this, and I think that also led into the fact that this game doesn't really give you that open world fatigue that you would get from like a Ubisoft game, and everything like that. But the new mode of transportation in this game is wonderful, and I know it's probably not it is technically a spoiler, but it's in the trailers and everything. That motherfucking Sunwing, bro. The traversal, just flying around the open world, that moment when you unlock the Sunwing. Whew, chef's kiss. They did it perfectly.
Whoa! Head rush. Tilda, I'm in the air.
Then you'll want to pick up an energy cell on one of the ancient Horus Titans. But first you must send out a pulse to activate them. I've sent you the necessary software. To deploy it, you'll have to override one of the communication machines you refer to as Tallnecks. There's one in the middle of the desert that should do nicely.
On it.
Now for the bad, I would say if you haven't played the original game, the sequel does do a lot of callbacks to Zero Dawn's events, you know? And so if you haven't played the original, learning the character stories wouldn't have the same impact. You know, merely catching up via, you know, YouTube videos or Wikipedia can only help so much. And I would say Aloy sometimes still glitches when trying to jump along, you know, paths and like little invisible walls and things that you're not meant to get to, like closed off areas in the map and that kind of thing. It still is a little glitchy and buggy, even when you're trying to like climb up on some rocks that you're not meant to be able to climb up. Rather than like deny the player the animation altogether, it'll attempt the animation and then sort of just like glitch you out of the animation itself. And then lastly, diving underwater to find secrets. It looks really beautiful and runs smoothly, but it's the swimming sections aren't that fun. They're, again, visually they're very beautiful, but I didn't really enjoy that much. Like, I enjoyed taking like screenshots and clips and stuff like that of Aloy in the water with her new breathing mechanism thing, but I didn't really care much for when we had to do like fights in the water and hide in all the weeds and what's it called, seaweed and that kind of thing. Yeah. So for me, all in all, I would say I think a game like Dying Light, despite its most polished moments, can feel, you know, sort of unfinished and hard for me to recommend to someone unless they really like the zombie genre. And again, I'm using Dying Light 2 as an example because it launched in February as well with Horizon, February 2022. And awkwardly, some of the recycled content, you know, it gets boring in that game. The game does get repetitive and tedious, even though it's one of the most one of the most fun open worlds to, I would say, explore in terms of traversal. The parkour is unbeaten in Dying Light 2, but that's a video for another time. So what I would say is that isn't the case with Guerrilla's Horizon Forbidden West, which rarely feels, you know, boring or stitched together at the last minute. Its diverse worlds, moving story, and attention to detail come together in ways that are all too rare in modern AAA gaming. And thankfully for us, it's something that a lot of PlayStation studios are still able to deliver year in, year out. So, should you play Horizon Forbidden West? My answer would be a solid yes and another yes. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay dangerous, stay blessed, and peace out.